All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, December 3rd. We got a few games on the NBA slate to jump into today. As always, we'll go through each game. I'll give you what I'm thinking. I'll give you my lean, but my final plays will live in the pinned comment that we update throughout the day. So make sure to go check that out. Before we get into the slate, I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. We've started up over on TikTok. That's where we're posting our prize picks plays, guys. If you don't know what prize picks is, make sure to check out the link in the description. It's an awesome app. You can throw a couple player props together, hit 2 out of 3 of your player props, or hit 3 for 3 for more money, that type of thing. Make sure to check out that link in the description. But yeah, we're getting a lot of views and a lot of comments and building a new community over there on TikTok. So make sure to go check that out, guys. At the banner of the video or somewhere here, you'll see the username pop up. But yeah, definitely go check that out. And we also have a bunch of the merch still available, guys. I cannot thank you guys enough for the recent support on this one. We're losing so much money betting. You guys are helping me out stay afloat, keep the lights on by these merch sales. But guys, go check out the merch store, link in the description as well. Use the code FADE2022. Depending on the product, you'll get 10 to 30% off of your purchase, guys. Only I think like a week and a half left to be able to guarantee your delivery by Christmas. So make sure to go check that out, guys. I love the Fade Me Santa shirt that we got there. But yeah, guys, go check all that stuff out. We got a couple things to talk about at some point in the video, but I don't want to delay too long. Make sure to like the video. Let's see if we can get this video up to 100 likes, and subscribe as well, guys. Would be much appreciated as we are grinding towards 13,000 subscribers. But let's jump in. First game on the board here is going to be the Knicks hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Knicks 1-point dogs here at home. Total 224.5. This is surprising me. I think that this Knicks team has been showing that they are getting a lot better and playing good basketball. The fact that they're getting points here on the at home is a little surprising to me. I looked down at the injury report to see if anything's going on there, and no. So honestly, right away, I'm kind of going, okay, Dallas has been a terrible against the spread team this season. In their last 15 games, 2-13 against the spread. But this Knicks team seems like they're at least hanging with teams. You know, they pushed against the Bucks. They beat Detroit. They kept it close against Memphis. They're still losing games, right? But they're playing better. So the fact that we're getting points here, I do like the Knicks at home. Total is 224. I think that this one also can go over. So I'm going to lean Knicks here plus the 1 point. I think I've seen a 1.5 on some sports books. I don't have access to those, but if you can get a 1.5, obviously go for that. But plus the points here at home, and total over 224.5. Next up, we got the Clippers hosting the covering Kings here. The Kings on the road are 1.5-point dogs here. They're 13-7 against the spread. What an incredible against the spread record. This Clippers team, 13-10 straight up, but only 11-12 against the spread. Total is 228 in this one here. And I feel like this is a game where the Kings maybe should be favored. Just based on how they've been playing. Again, they're killing it against the spread, but even straight up, they're 8-11 or 8-3 in their last 11 games straight up. They have kind of slacked a little bit, but they're coming off a win to Indiana, and the Clippers are coming off a loss to Utah here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice with the Kings. No reported injuries here. You do have to keep an eye on the injury report always for the Clippers before making a bet here. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, all questionable here. Luke Kennard is downgraded to out, so obviously this line could jump around, so I would advise to wait on this one, just because you might get the Kings. If you're looking to take the Kings here and Paul George gets ruled in, Kawhi gets ruled in, you might get a better number. So if you're on the Clipper side, maybe pull the trigger now, regardless of the injuries. But if you are like me on the King side, I think we're gonna wait and be patient here, because if they are ruled out, I don't think this line changes all that much. But if they're ruled in, we might get a couple extra points. And then in terms of a total, 228, I think that this one sticks to the under by very, very small margin. I'm probably not putting anything on it here, but I think this game probably goes anywhere from 230 or 223 to 226, so I'm sticking away from that. Guys, before we get into the next couple games here, I told you I had a couple things to talk about. I want to talk to you guys about becoming a baller on the channel, guys. $2.99 a month. First and foremost, the #1 way you can support this show and support what we're doing here. So I appreciate all the ballers as of right now. We're going to get back to doing some baller shout outs. We do ballers only giveaways. There's a plethora of perks that you guys do get. But one thing that I've been working on real hard, and the ballers know that it's been a great tool, is the models that we're building and putting out every single day. We have a model for the spread that's hitting at a daily daily average of 62%. We have a totals model, so for over and unders, and then we have a player props model as well. So make sure to sign up today, guys. Those are just posted a link. You get a unique link every single day right on our community tab. Super simple, and you guys can incorporate it in your sports betting research. So become a baller today. Would be much appreciated. Now let's move over to Charlotte here hosting Milwaukee. Charlotte 6-point dogs at home. Total is 224 in this game. I do think that Charlotte has been playing decent basketball. Obviously, both these teams playing last night on the back-to-back here. I do think that they've been playing decent basketball, but that's as far as I would go. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games, but the competition has been Philly, who is injured, Minnesota, who's been either hot or cold all year long. Then they lose to Boston. It's like, okay, that makes sense, right? And they play Washington last night and beat them by 1 point. Milwaukee, on the other hand, lost against the Lakers last night, but has won 3 straight before that. I do think 6 points could be a decent amount to give. Charlotte, injuries are always going to be something that they're dealing with here. LaMelo Ball, questionable. Cody Martin's been out for a while. Gordon Hayward also been out for a while. Dennis Smith Jr. is out here. I think that I'm going to lean the Bucks. I think that, as much as I like Charlotte and when they're at home and they're getting a decent amount of points here, I don't know if this is enough points to give. So I'm going to lean the Bucks. Probably a little upset about last night's loss to the Lakers. Regards to the back-to-back here, I think both these teams played hard-fought games last night, and the Bucks come in here and say, okay, let's get this train back on the track. So I'm going to lean Bucks in this one. Total is 224, like I said, and I think that's a pretty sharp line. I have no real play on the total. I'm not going to make something up just for content here. All right, Toronto hosting the Magic. Toronto 11-point favorites at home. Total 218 here. This one is an interesting line because Toronto has been, in my opinion, an up and down type team all season. In fact, the records would say that 11-11 straight up, 12-10 against the spread here. Their last game was last night against Brooklyn. They were getting absolutely blown out. And then all of a sudden I checked the final score because that was one of our plays last night. Brooklyn -1.5, and all of a sudden they lose the game by 9, so they fought back in that one. I didn't watch the end of the game, so I don't know if starters sat and all that stuff, but it's interesting to see that they claw back here. They've lost 2 straight, one to New Orleans and one to Brooklyn, both effectively blowouts. So to give them 10.5 points here to lay is a little questioning to me. Now, on the Orlando side of the basketball, Gary Harris is questionable. Jonathan Isaac still out. Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Mo Bamba's questionable. Okiki is questionable. And Jalen Suggs is questionable. They have lost 9 of their last 10 games, and their against the spread records just about the same here. They're 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. So is that the reason why this line is so high? I'm going to lean Orlando. I don't think that that's a smart play. I doubt this becomes a final play, but, call me crazy. I don't think this Toronto team has shown anything as of late that they should be almost 11-point favorites against anybody in this league. If this game was like 6.5 or 5, then that's a little bit different. That's still a pretty large spread, but I understand it a little bit more. But Vegas sums off about this game because Toronto hasn't been trending in the exact direction that we're talking about here, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, here's 11 points to lay. So I'm going to lean Orlando in this one. Doubt it becomes a final play whatsoever. And also, I know it's a low total, but I do kind of like the under in this one with all the injuries as well. Who's going to score the ball on the Orlando side of things? And this Toronto team, they barely put up 109 points last night. They had like 30 points in the second half. So yeah. Yeah, that's my play there. Again, this one's kind of confusing. I feel like we spent a lot of time on a game that I was like confused by. But nonetheless, hey, we're out here doing the damn thing. Minnesota 6.5-point favorites taking on the OKC Thunder here. Thunder, we call them the rumbling covering Thunder. They're starting to lose that little, what they're supposed to be. What was it, a couple weeks ago? They started to lose that nickname. That's the word I was looking for. Dummy over here. Their nickname, the rumbling covering Thunder. But they started to get it back. 2 covers in a row against New Orleans and San Antonio here. And it was a good kind of sample size. They were 5.5-point dogs against New Orleans and still covered. And then they were 3-point favorites against San Antonio and covered. Minnesota, on the other hand, has only covered 1 out of their last 4 games. And that was against Memphis, was it 2 nights ago? But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is questionable in this game. Karl-Anthony Towns still out for Minnesota, but Jaden McDaniels looks like he's gonna get the run here. 5.5 points, or 6.5 points, excuse me, is a decent amount to give. So you know what? We're going with the rumbling covering Thunder. Cop the t-shirt on the store. 6.5 points here. I like the Thunder in this matchup. I do think that they can keep this game close. Does Minnesota ultimately win it? Yes, but I do think that this game should be more of a Minnesota, -3 type of game. So we're going with the rumbling, covering Thunder. Let's go. In terms of a total, 232 seems super high. I'm not going to touch it, but I do think that the total seems a little bit high for this game. All right, couple games left on the slate. We got the Warriors taking on the Rockets here. Warriors 9.5 point favorites here. 232 is the total. The Rockets coming off of a win last night against Phoenix. And that's crazy to me because what was Phoenix, like 12-point favorites? I think I leaned Phoenix. Didn't end up making it a final play, but leaned them. Golden State looked decent against Chicago last night. So 9.5 points. Jayshawn Tate is questionable here for Houston. Golden State, no one on the injury report, but you know how Golden State does in back-to-backs, right? You know that all of a sudden they're like, oh, no one on the injury report. Nobody is playing. So as of right now, I'm going to lean Golden State -9.5. The Rockets are probably still drunk from winning that game last night. They're going to come in here hungover as all hell. And, Golden State's getting ready to go and getting their season going here. They are at home. They're a better team at home. But I almost anticipate all those guys are going to get ruled out. So I'm going to lean Golden State, but I doubt that everyone plays. If they do, then great. Golden State -9.5. In terms of a total, 232 there. I think that's a pretty sharp line. I'm not really touching it. All right, next up, Jazz hosting the Trailblazers. Trailblazers 13-9 against the spread. Jazz 15-10 against the spread. We have two good teams against the spread here. Only Portland starting to slide a little bit. 1-4 in the last 5 against the spread. Utah 12-5 in the last 7 games straight up. Things have not been as great as they once were for either of these teams. Utah has gotten 2 wins in a row though against the Clippers, and then the second one was last night. Names escaping me. They won last night here. A lot of injuries to note though for Portland here. Damian Lillard out. Gary Payton is out. Josh Hart downgraded to doubtful. Eubanks questionable. Little is out. And then for Utah, Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, the normal guys are looking like they're questionable here. Actually, Mike Conley questionable is an upgrade from what I think he has been. So this line here, -4, 228 is a total. I think that I'm going to lean Utah here -4. I do get the whole, back to back. They kind of exerted themselves last night. They still covered. Portland's well rested. But I don't think this Portland team is, they were at the beginning of the year, even without Damian Lillard, they were playing well. I think that sort of has come back down to earth. So I'm going to lean Utah here -4. The total 224.5. I like the over in this one. I think that this one could get up in the 230. So that is going to wrap it up for the plays today, guys. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Check us out over on TikTok. Having a lot of fun over there giving player props and doing our prize picks plays. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, great Saturday. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.